All right, we are back to finish up this house today. And then we got to go and check and see what happened because our penalty thing is gone. So I'm wondering if it deleted that wardrobe in question or if we just get a one time penalty for it and that's it. Why is this one being a pain about? Um, oh, this is the long window. Okay, gotcha. This is large one. We'll put it over here if we can get it to. Ugh, such a pain. All right. See, that looked like it was right in line. Still isn't right. All right, that's all the windows. Oh, by the way, we have a toilet and a common washing machine back here. All right, fine. I'll take your common washing machine. Not sure I care about the toilet. We're just padding the truck to get back to the warehouse at this point because we're not really going to fit anything else in this van. So let's go ahead back to the warehouse. Come on, you can do it. You're a big boy. There you go. All right, let's get this dropped off. Grab windows. Leave spot for small one. A couple small ones. And we'll put our medium ones. Yep, that wardrobe is definitely gone. So if you bring something back, you can get rid of it, but it's going to cost you $2 to dispose of it. You can't. And if you notice, number two is locked, so you literally can't destroy it and then pick it up and sell the trash. Long windows up there. Little baby small window. Put down here on the end. And we'll get the rest of our cabinets up here. This is probably the first thing you're going to end up buying is more space for this crap. Because they want to buy a lot of this stuff, but they don't buy what you actually have available, which is kind of weird. Okay, so common bookshelf, common chair for a rare client. It says $90 and $18. They want one of each. We only have one chair and two of those bookshelves. That's a completely different item, so we don't care. We do have a wealthy client, but they want something we don't have. There. See the small item box, they want literally 4 and 5, and they're paying different amounts for each one. It's kind of strange. All right, so since nobody else wants those things today, let's go ahead and accept that order, small truck, and let's get it loaded and out of here. Get our scanner out. So bookshelf is supposed to be selling for 100. I think because this is a rare and not a. I think the amount that it has on it is if it was a wealthy client, that's what you could sell it for. And chair is literally this chair right here. So there we go. So that's like the maximum amount that you could sell it for is that $100. We're selling it for 90, so $10 less than what it says it sells for. There we go. That order is done. This again is a quality, so this is right below the wealthy for a kitchen sink cabinet. So let's go ahead and sell that to get room on our shelves. Open the door. And that should have been one of the things we just brought in. Wall, bed, sink cabinet. There we go. Waddle our asses over here with this box. Why you don't have a roller dolly or something to move these things, since they're supposedly so heavy, I don't know. All right, get that set. Now this one wants box 4 for $22, but we had one down here. There it is. Box 4 and box 5 for $36 and $50. And this one is box 4 for $22. But they're both for customers. No, this one's common client. Okay. So we're going to sell it to these guys. And you really have to go through that because they do not put them in any kind of order, whether it's quality or if you have the shit to sell them. None of that freaking gets organized. It's just throw them in there and you figure it out your damn self. All right, so that is done. That's $86. And I believe that's all we're going to end up doing. It doesn't get rid of the one that wants 4, which doesn't exist because there's only one number 4, because the numbers will continue to get higher. This is poor client that wants 10 of those walls for $50. I was thinking we had one yesterday that wanted walls that wasn't that guy. So yeah, if we want to sell them, it's going to be, we need 10 of them now for $51. And it's weird because it says 3 days. So it's almost like, can you project you're going to get the stuff? So you accept the invoice now. Maybe that's what I should have done, is accept it yesterday. Because the house I'm doing, I know has it. Maybe that's something I could think about doing. I never thought about that. I assumed since it said 3 days, it would be on this list for 3 days. I don't think that's the way this is going to work. That one wants common beams, which we can get 13 of them out of that house. But we don't have the big round ceiling light. So there's no way that one's going to do us any good. That one's a common TV, 2 of them, which we don't have. But we could, and we can't get the brick pallets because I'm pretty sure that house has not got brick in it. Premium. All the premium stuff you really never know if you're going to get a hold of. We know we're not getting any of this stuff. All right, so that's it for orders for today. Get our asses. Oh, this is why I was telling you about the garage thing. So you can build a garage for $500. That does not get you a vehicle in said garage. I can't do anything because I only have $600. I don't want to spend it. But when you go in here, Your choices will be a minivan, a small van, and I think a large van, and then the trucks. And you would assume that they start you with the minivan. But no, this is the small van, which you know, because that's what we did in the tutorial. I thought I was getting an upgrade by buying the small van because Bear doesn't read, doesn't pay attention. So I ended up with two small vans. So don't make that mistake. All right, so we got all the doors but this one. Let's go ahead and take this one off. And this should be a rare door because it has the fancy. Yeah, this is a rare door. If it has that fancier, not a turn knob, but a more lever style, it's going to be that. All right, so like I said, saving lumber, kind of a waste of time. Another weird thing is these planks, the decking is the same as what the studs are in the wall. You'd think the decking would be a different thing. But let's go ahead and start demolishing this place. And no, there is literally no way to take these rails apart if you wanted to. Same with this beam. Everything to do with the roof, nothing you can do about it. And it's a waste of time to deal with trying to get the roof out because you will literally, the roof will fall when you take out the walls. Same with the flooring here for the deck. Just knock its supports out if you're not wanting to save the wood. And they will just break, and we'll sell this shit for 75 bucks a bag or whatever the hell it was we seen. Like that right there, 75 bucks. Why? Who's going to pay you 75 bucks for kindling? I don't know. But apparently somebody's stupid and they're going to pay you. Alright, so let's start knocking into these walls. We literally just got to knock the beams out. If you want to save the wood, knock just the beam. Go to each one of these little corners. Knock the beams out. The wood will fall. Also, it's really weird you can't save the baseboards. The baseboards are part of the wall. Like it's part of the sheetrock. Really weird. Okay. This little corner out here. There we go. This end out. Door frame out of here. Can't take the door frame out, by the way. So now we take down the house. So around the edge, knock out all the beams. Once you knock out the beams, everything falls. If you haven't noticed, you spend way more time taking stuff apart in the house than you do actually demolishing the freaking house. We spent way more time collecting crap. Now, if we actually wanted to save all this lumber, if there was a reason to do so, because they would actually buy the shit, it would take longer to tear the house apart. But when it's just going to sit in a wood rack back at the warehouse and take up space, versus us being able to sell all of this trash for 75 bucks a pop, why would we take it back? You know, the walls we were thinking about saving, which we're actually not doing, clearly, was going to be 50 bucks. Why would we bother? When that same amount of shit is probably going to be one bag of trash that we can sell for 75. And I also didn't look at the size of the wall, because it's kind of weird how the walls work in here, because like one little thin narrow piece will be an entire sheet of drywall. Also, can't save any of the siding. You literally can't take the siding off. Alright. Press this to fall. And what's holding you? There we go. Alright, now it's just a matter of walk around and pick up all the crap and make the bags of gold. That's literally what they feel like. You should be paying someone to take away the trash. There's actually an argument on the Discord for this game, because I wanted to go see if, you know, there was anything interesting being complained about in the Discord and the suggestions, and that was one of the suggestions that came up multiple times, was why in the hell are we packing trash into a bag that we then, you know, have to load into the van? And one person's like, well, you can make multiple trips, you know, because the dude's like, it's so hard to get all the trash back to the warehouse. It's like, just make multiple trips. And it's like, but why, when you should have a dumpster? Nobody demolishes a house without calling the, you know, local dumpster company, whoever does your trash, and have them bring you a frickin' dumpster, which, by the way, you have to pay for. They don't buy the trash from you. I know it's game mechanic, but still, it's weird. This game is called a simulator, which means simulating the real job. And this is in no way simulating how this job works when you're selling your trash for 75 bucks a bag. Well, I wish I could sell my trash for 75 bucks a bag. Also, the fact that it's deconstruction simulator and you can't take apart the roof. It's just knocked down the walls and the roof falls. Kind of weird. Look at how much money we've got sitting on this front lawn just in trash. And that's saying that we did the cleanup, so we just got an extra 400 bucks on top of the trash that we're going to sell for doing cleanup, even though the game is not, well, the area is not clean. This is where I would prefer there to be a hard mode, is for stuff like this right here, because they say we are completely done cleaning, though we're still picking stuff up, and there's still, a chunk of roof sitting here. We haven't finished destroying the house. It still says we have 88%, but that is because you can't do anything with the flooring. You can't chisel it out. Even though these are bathroom tiles, you can't chisel it out. You literally have to go around with a sledgehammer and just bash the floor tiles 3 times until they break. So how we have finished the bonus of cleanup before we have finished demolishing the house makes no damn sense. Also, it's 1% per floor piece typically. And as you can see, we're going to have more floor pieces that need to be done when we hit 100%. So that's something that in the harder mode setting, if they made one, would be that you have to get it within 1%. You have to leave, 1 to 5% for game fuck up. Because, shit can fall through the world. Or just, not register properly. But, half the floor I hadn't destroyed yet. As far as cleanup, what about all this wood? I can literally just leave all of this lumber lay here. The game will not give a shit. I have completed the job. I am literally wasting my time, other than if I can get this bag full, which pretty good chance I cannot with what we have left. Clearly, because I'm about halfway on the meter there, and, well, basically done. Come pick up this piece of roofing, which completely did not fill this bag. We also got all of the items taken care of, but there's still literally a toilet right here. So let's destroy the toilet, grab the pieces from it. We're clearly not getting this done. Hey, look, the clock is still here too. Now, I'm pretty sure if we wanted to, we could go around and just smash all of this wood. But since there's a chance we can sell it and our wood rack isn't full, we might as well go ahead and take it back. We're going to be making multiple trips anyways. We're going to try to sort this a little bit better, since some of these are quite small. All right. So we want to get the door in here. it's going to be a pain in the ass. So we're going to put it there. And then we'll take these long pieces and yeah, they're not going to fit under there. So we're going to try to sit these here. That should be what all of these are. Because there should be none of the long beams because we broke all of those. But apparently the rest of the studs, which are not studs because these are not quite 2x4s, these look more like 1x2s to me than 2x4s. Just load all these up and then we'll probably end up having to come back for a second trip, maybe a second and third trip for all of the trash. Oh, we got a big one in there. We'll have to get rid of that. That's one of those studs, but it's the floor stud, not the wall stud. And stacking this wood in here can be such a headache at times. All right, let's start grabbing small pieces, get them out of here. These are those. That is one of those. All right, back to the planks. Whoa, where did I go? It didn't like that. I think I might have been standing on it when I picked it up. And it definitely did not appreciate that. All right, here, one of these. But like literally, I can't put this right here because it's not. I have to stack it on these, which then I'll have to make another stack. And we're just going to lean them against that door. You don't have to sort them when you put them in here, but it helps because of the multi-lengths. Give me all of these. Because I may be able to get... Also, check the doors every now and then because not a whole lot of room. But we're going to see if we can put like these back here with another one right here, which is not going to fit. But we can put these shorter ones up here. If I can get it to properly sit. Yeah, like that. I don't know what has happened to those. This really doesn't line up well. But then we should be able to stack all the rest of these back in here. I don't think we're going to have that many of the short ones, because I think that's what goes around the window, is what those are. So maybe this is a little, well, I guess we do have more of the short ones than I thought we had. So we're going to throw these up here in the front. And we'll try to throw the rest of the long ones there on top of this. Once we get all these shorter ones in here. And by the way, if you haven't been keeping count, you can pick up 8 boards no matter what length they are. That's what you can hold on your shoulder. Is 8. I wonder if the scanner actually tells you. $14, $10. So yeah, this is why I don't really save the lumber most of the time. Most of the time, the job site will end with all of that wood just laying here. I don't like it. You absolutely shouldn't get a bonus for cleanup if they're laying there, but most of the times it's what we're going to do is just leave them lay here because we're not going to ever have orders asking for them. And when we do, it's going to be very little. And most of the time, it'll be for the beams that you literally break out and not all these planks that you get from every freaking job. Okay, it didn't like that again. Whoa, stop that. You tell I don't pick these up very often. Never had that happen before. I've had it happen twice. One job. Make that 3 times. This one amount of planks here is probably going to be more than we're ever going to sell. As this is a lot of planks we're picking up today. But there isn't much else we can do with this truck, so we might as well. Because we're not going to be able to fit all the rest of that in there. And I do want to get some of this lumber just in case we get an order that wants, a premium TV, a rare bookshelf, and 15 freaking planks of wood for some reason. Yeah, that's those over there. Yeah, put them in the wrong pile, doofus. Seem like these should be over here. Start getting this shit piled in here. We have more than enough of these blanks. We're literally never going to sell these blanks. That is way too many of those blanks. All right, let's just see if we can get the rest of this jammed in here. We're going to leave the rest of it sit because the job is done. We'll put it there. Fine, I don't care. Grab the rest of this. Throw it in there. We'll grab these last 3. If we can get it to go in there somewhere not stupid. Okay, will the door close? No. Will now. And can we get trash in here? I seen it green. All right, it don't stay, but it will let me put it there. Weirdly, so let's get at least 3 of them in here. Can we put any more up over here? No, there's clearly enough room, but game's stupid and doesn't think so. Really? Really? That back bag. Can we get it in there just a little further? There we go. That door, really annoying. Stop doing that. All right, so gas money from the trash. And start grabbing all planks. And that's the one we haven't put anything in yet. So, how's that full? I don't know what that was just doing. It was clearly not full because we put some more in it. We'll say it usually holds like 2 levels, 2 rows. When clearly there's room enough for like, oh, this one, no, that's it. We get 2 deep, 3 deep. I don't know what that is. The one in there kind of weird. Okay, now it's full. Oh, that's actually a beam. That's why it wouldn't go in. Huh, interesting. I don't know how we got 2 beams out of there. All right, so these go over here in the other rack. We have way too many of these, which actually, yeah, I know you're gonna bitch. Shut up. These should be on that rack. And then these we're going to put here. We're probably going to end up using that one too. Because we picked up way more of these than we should have. But I hate leaving it behind when I'm getting a bonus for cleanup. Which is so weird. Told you we're going to end up using that one. Hell, we may end up using another one. Many of these as we got. See why I don't bother picking this shit up? It's just so much of it. Why is there no place to put that one? Oh, that's a really short guy. Apparently we didn't have any of them in here. So we got beams, we got planks, we got the short beams, and then we got the really short beam. And there's still friggin' planks in here. How the hell did we end? Is this a different beam? That's not full. That's, oh yeah, that's 3 deep. That's definitely full. Because clearly there's not room for at least one, maybe 2 more in there. Hopefully next update they'll have more wood selling options. Like you get more orders for it. So there's actually a reason to pick this shit up. All right, and we got our door. And goes there. And van is empty. Contract is complete. So we got 322 bucks for the actual main job, 400 bucks for cleaning the place up. So we ended up with a final payment of 722, which I believe is what the contract actually said it paid, which is kind of weird that it was 722 for the whole job, including the bonus, but they don't put it on the thing. Okay, so now we need to pick a new contract. We do have a rare client. But that rare client is a tier 2 permit, which we need 4 more jobs before we can get a tier 2 permit, so we can't do that one. We can do a quality, which is retrieve 2 things, then demolish the entire house and clean it up. We have only 2 days to do so, which is a short amount of time to go through all the stuff that's probably in that house. Great cleanup is 1 day. That is literally take 3 things out of the living room and save for them, and take or destroy 2 things that we get to keep. It's a poor job. It only pays 118 bucks. It's a 1 day job. We can definitely get that done today. So let's go ahead and do that one. And then this is a 1 day job to demolish an entire house. Kiss my ass, because if we did this in 1 day, we wouldn't get anything out of the house to actually sell. And it's only like a $400 job. We'll take this one that's at least 2 days if we don't have something better. So let's go ahead and take this one. Look through the orders quickly. Not really going to mess around. I don't think we have anything. Yeah, we'll have to look back tomorrow, see if we have any. This is where I told you there was you pick a poor one, they bitch at you about taking the poor ones. But you take what work you can get is what it says, basically. All right, so let's get over here. I don't like the quality thing of the contracts. Hey, we left a piece of wood in there. Okay, so we need to find the living room, which is over here. This is where everything is. They want the TV. They want the wardrobe and the shelf the TV was on. All the little items we cannot break. We got to be careful with. You can't take anything off when you're in disassembly mode, but that's a low enough thing. It's just going to fall when we take it apart. So no reason to leave. If it was something like glass, we might worry about it. Or if it was up higher on a shelf, we might worry about it. But with it just being books at that height, it'll be perfectly fine. Also, these are holding the back and the top, not the sides. So why can I not take out that side thing? Because it's being held by those. Also, that back stuff is usually just like cardboard. There's no reason these would ever be stuck into that back piece. All right, shelf out, that side out. Zoom me out a little bit. Holy crap, I was zoomed in way too far. Fan out. Back, sides, base. And she's done. And I kind of put that TV in a terrible spot, didn't I? Let's sit it back here a minute. Don't fall out of the van and break, you'll get us in trouble. All right, so last thing is we need to grab the wardrobe. Nothing in it, so shut the doors in my face. Even though I clearly just opened them. Get this thing tore apart. I'm also not 100% sure how the 1 day thing works. Like, I don't know if it is 1 day, 24 hours, or 1 day as in we started this at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We have till 6 o'clock in the evening then to get it done. Where if we just started at 7:30 in the morning, we would have all the way till 6 o'clock at night to get it done. I'm not sure yet how that actually works because I haven't seen a thing that's complained about me going over on time. Though it is weird because some things will give you like 5 days to do a contract, but it'll say day penalty like $50. And I've never seen the day penalty show up. So I'm assuming that's if you go over. But if it's a 5 day job, you definitely should be able to get it done in 5 days. Especially when that's like quality or tier 2 or 3 permit level. They're not much bigger houses. Literally, some of them will be the same houses. Oh, we got this stupid shit below. I hate these things. Alright, that. Sides. Alright, so there's the last thing we have to retrieve. We don't care about how well it sits. We just need it to sit. Alright, so that's done. And this is where the contract does not tell you what it is we are supposed to take, which is the chairs, all 4 chairs, and the table. So couch stays, but we take these. Not the bathroom, moron. There's no kitchen table in the bathroom. Ain't nobody wanna. Hey, hello. I hate the way this rotates. Because you gotta use the wheel, but you also have to hold the mouse button down while you do it. I probably don't need to pack these in here quite the way I am because we only got to get that table in there, which we have to take apart. We can't just go grab the damn thing and throw it in here when there's clearly room for it. We got to sit here and take each one of these 4 screws out of each one of these 4 brackets. Which are literally only holding the top together, because watch how this comes apart. Nothing here is screwed in to the actual legs. And we're going to end up taking this top off in one piece. So why in the hell are we pulling these brackets out if they're not screwed into the legs? It does not make freaking sense. Oh, and I forgot to grab the brackets. Grab the brackets, because they'd bitch about that if we didn't grab them. Was what physics denying material these brackets are made out of that they just sit there with nothing holding them? I don't know, but there you go. It comes off. What were those brackets holding that we had to take them out? Absolutely nothing. Say it again, y'all. All right. There's that. And pack it in, check the job. Everything's done. 118 bucks. We only get 18 for grabbing what they want. We make 100 bucks for removing shit we can sell. These contracts are weird. All right. So this on the shelf. These on the pallets. Put the piece of wood in the rack. Where it goes, you moron. All right, now it is clearly the end of the day. I don't typically end days, but we're going to today. I usually let the time run out. So, end of work day, yes. So, waste recycling. 3 things of trash for 75 bucks because we forgot to go back and pick up the rest. So, it's 25 bucks per bag of trash. I was wrong. But still, 75 bucks for waste, 50 bucks for rent, 28 in gas. We clearly could have made a lot more money if I'd have remembered to go get the trash. But we only lost 3 bucks. And our daily cost was 3. Our contracts and orders were 986, 722 for that contract, and then 3 orders that we did. This contract we didn't finish, so it'll show up on the next day's pay. We got 983 for that. All right, so now it's the next day. Go ahead and go in and finish up that contract that says we have 0 days left on it, but it's still paying us the 118. So complete the contract. Okay, so apparently that's the answer. We went over on time. Send invoice. Are you sure you want to cancel the contract? You won't be able to return to the contract location. Your reputation will drop. There's no other option. So, yes, send invoice, full satisfaction, 5-star rating. What was that screen literally for? That was dumb. They gave us 1 day to do the job. We did it in 2 hours. And you're going to bitch at me, but not penalize me for forgetting to turn the contract in before I walked out the door. That's some dumb shit right there. I literally have a 4.9 star rating, and that 1 point is from the tutorial where I broke a table. That's all that is. Because I can't move the table out of the way while I'm destroying the wall that you want me to destroy. All right, so we'll pick the next job and go through orders in the next one. If we have one, I'm going to go ahead and stop my recording session here. Like I've said, you guys have the choice if we continue or if we don't. So let me know. And we'll go from here if you want. Have a good one. Take it easy.